Hello everybody and welcome back to Pokemon White 2. So, in the last part, we encountered and faced off against Team Plasma. Now, as you can see, I am once again back at PokeStar Studios. Yeah, even though I said at the end of the video that we were going to be heading for Castelia City. Well, that's because... Well, since I am still near PokeStar Studios, yeah, I think I may as well do at least one movie marathon before we actually continue on. Since I was close enough to Castelia, since I was close enough to PokeStar Studios anyway. Yeah. But anyways, now as you can see off screen. Yeah, now during my time off screen after the end of the last video, I have created the new four movies that we were told about. Yeah. Now as for the movie I'm gonna be showing off first is titled Invaders. Now for this one, you simply just have to defeat Elgyem. You simply just have to defeat Elgyem within 7 turns. But if you just happen to defeat the other opponent, yeah, you will essentially get the strange ending. Now and considering that this is our first, section of a science fiction film, we now get this music. Yeah. You essentially get this music over that really likes to repeat really quickly. No, but anyway, always everyone. But anyways, everyone. That doesn't mean that I still don't like it. Yeah, I still like. I still like this music for the science. For the science fiction films too. Okay, now what you have to do for turn 1 is that you simply have to use Herdier's Aurora move, so then you can drag out the Elgyem. Then you essentially started by defeating the Elgyem. Oh yeah. And if I recall, I think the Herdier's only moves are Roar and Bite. So, and with that, I think you really should be fine enough for you to be able to finish off the scene. Or should I say, for you to be able to complete this movie. Yeah. But anyways, anyways, everyone. Now here's what we get. The only aligned choice that you get for this film, where if you want to get the a good ending, you have to say I'll block it. And if you choose you really think I would let's run, then you will get the bad ending. And if you choose, a third line where it says what should we do? Yeah, that line then will come out as all all alright. Just not so much for you to get a it's just not so much if you want to get a good ending. Yeah. But anyways, everyone, yeah, with that said, that right there is the end of that film. Now, I'll go over the records. Now I'll show off of the records. Once we're done. Once I'm done showing off the films. Once I'm done showing off the movies. Yeah. But anyways, anyways, everyone. Now for our next film we're gonna be watching is called Timegate Traveller. The title, The Glasses of Destiny. Okay, now for this one, you get to utilize a Solosis. You get to utilize a Solosis. And if you want to beat, if you want to get the good ending for this one, now you have to defeat set T1 within 4 cuts, and you will get the strange ending if you select your mistake in the first option. Yeah, the option. Yeah, and now as for what a T1 is, yeah, now that is essentially the thing that we're actually gonna be facing off against in this one. Whereas this assistant here was sent out a transport. Yeah, and as you probably heard. Yeah, now for every device that has been utilized with for motion capture, they actually come with their very own sound effects, which I will definitely say it is definitely a very neat touch for it too. Yeah. But anyways, everyone. Now, if you want to get the actual a good ending for this one, now the line that you will say, the line you say is actually now the line that you have to choose is certainly, yeah, that one, that one right there. And if you choose the lines, forget it, or your mistake, you'll fail. And now for your first turn, now you actually have to utilize the move trick, where you swap the transport's item, that actually being the choice specs. While you give it Solosis' item, that actually being the magnet. And then you simply just finish off the transport by simply utilizing Solosis' only actual attacking move, Side Shock. Now, as for the transport itself, the transport itself is actually a Steel type Pokemon. Yeah. Even though they are supposed to be motion capture settings, yeah, they still have now all of these things that are utilized with motion capture. Now they will not only that are utilized with the raid screen as well. Yeah, and also motion capture. Yeah, they will not only come with their own types, and they also have their own set of stats too. Now as for the transport, it's a Steel type. And its special ability is Motor Drive, and all of its stats are at 100. and the moves that it gets are Clear Smog, full lane burst, and a discharge. So yeah, I guess. But as you saw for the majority of that film, yeah, it only really utilized Clear Smog. Yeah, that's because if it utilized any other move, yeah, any of its other moves, then it would have defeated your Solosis. Yeah. But anyways, everyone, now that we finished that one, now we're gonna go watch the next one, which is actually our first fantasy film, Mystery Doors of the Magical Land, Beyond a Door. Now for this film, for this movie, we get to utilize a Vanillite. And if you want to get the good ending for this one, you have to defeat all of the enemies within seven turns, and you will get the strange / bad ending if your Vanillite just so happens to get defeated. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind. Now, as for Vanillite himself, now he gets the moves Icy Wind, Harden, and Astonish, and it is also holding a Destiny Knot item. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind as you are going through with this one. But anyways, now as for these set of films. Now, the person that we are really going to be seeing, now the person that we're going to be seeing within these set of films is actually this woman, who is actually first known as some strange lady. But as you are going through the process of actually making this film, yeah, it turns out that this woman here is actually played by none other than the Saffron gym leader, Sabrina. Yeah, that's right, everyone. Just like with Bryson, Sabrina has also taken her time off away from her gym to also be making movies. Yeah, that is something that we really don't get to see that very often. Yeah, gym leaders, now, that's right, now, gym leaders, now, gym leaders for run the other games, actually doing something else, other than just battle you, other than just like battle you for a badge. So yeah. Now, anyways, now, what does you do on your first turn is you simply just attack the Pokemon. That actually being a Woobat. And the Woobat's moves will have this Woobat will have the moves Heart Stamp, Confuse Ray, Substitute, and Swagger. And for the first line that you saw, that you just saw there. Now, if you want to get the good ending, you have to say the line, defeat them. But if you say the line, catch them, then you will get the bad ending. And if you say the line, use my Pokédex. Well, that is a line that's just all right at best. Yeah. And then as you defeat her Woobat, she will send out a Swoobat. And then as for the second line that you say here, now if you want to get the good ending, now you simply just have to say I won't quit. But if you say I'm done for, then you will get the bad ending. But if you say the line but I am rich, then that line is just okay at best. Yeah. And then as for Swoobat's moves, now it has to boost attract, confuse ray, supersonic, substitute, and it also has amnesia. So yeah, let's just say, yeah, now if you chose the other lines that won't give it a good ending, yeah, then both for Woobat and Swoobat will definitely utilize moves that will definitely make it that will definitely make it a lot more tougher for you to defeat, for you to be able to beat both of them. So yeah, definitely utilize the moves. So yeah, definitely pick the good lines if you want to have yourself a chance of actually beating this one. Yeah, but anyways, everyone. Now, as for the music that plays during the fantasy films, yeah, I'll say that one is also that one is also pretty good too. Yeah, anyways, everyone. Now I feel like I've just have enough time to watch our last film that we made off screen, the Red Fog of Terror, the horrific motel. And now for this film, we get to utilize the Sigilyph. Yeah, a Pokemon that we actually utilize during our prequel adventure. Yeah, that surely is something, huh? Okay, everyone. Now the main objective for this one is that you simply just have to defeat the opponent within 10 turns. And if you will get the strange ending if you actually survive it, that the opponent actually survives for 10 turns. So yeah, make sure you make sure you defeat it. Now, as for the actual opponent that we're actually are facing off against, is called a humanoid. Yeah. Now that definitely sounds like a really strange, creature sound that it just made. Now, as for when we get to the actual but however, the humanoids also have a different sound effect to them as well. And you will definitely hear it once we actually get to that. Okay, everyone. Now for the first 2 turns, you essentially have to get yourself covered in defenses. Now, hence why the Sigilyph has the moves of Reflect and Light Screen. Oh yeah, that right there. Yeah, as you may just heard. Yeah, now, when the dialogue goes into this, apparently the humanoids apparently sound like lions. Yeah, they sound like freaking lions. Yeah, I don't care why that is, man. But anyways, everyone. Now, as I was saying, now they want you to start off by setting up a defensive move. Now, your Sigilyph just so happens to have both a Reflect and a Light Screen. But however, Reflect is probably your better choice. Is because, well, because the humanoid will most likely will utilize Scratch and Shadow Claw, and as for its of a move, it will actually have acid. And then as for Sigilyph's other moves, it will only have Psybeam. And it will also be holding a light clay item. And then as for the ability, that the humanoid had. Now as for the humanoid itself, it is a normal type, and it has the ability, insomnia. And all of its base stats are also at 1. Are also at 1 like 100. Yeah. But anyways, everyone. Now beating like all of these films here. Now I would say all of them are relatively easy to do. Actually, the first of Mystery Doors of the Magical Land, yeah, that one can't be tricky to go through. Yeah, especially if you actually choose the wrong lines. Yeah, but anyways, everyone. Now considering that we just went through our first horror film. Yeah, that being the Red Fog of Terror. Now, I guess I should say that the music that plays during the horror films, yeah, it definitely suits that genre really well, and I mean really, really well. Yeah, it definitely suits that genre really well. Now, once you're done making a film, yeah, I think I forgot to say this as well. As soon as we made our first film, as soon as you're done, revealing, showing off that film, the film that you just watched, then Mr. Studio will show up and tell you that you did a good job. Yeah. But anyways, now as you can see, yeah, now here are the banners that we get for Invaders, a Timegate Traveller, and over to our left side, we now here are the banners for the Mystery Door series, and the Red Fog of Terror series. Okay, now let's see if you have any new to say. Okay, considering that we are still new to this, yeah, he's obviously not gonna have much merchandise for us yet. Yeah, that's why you gotta keep making movies over and over. Yeah. But anyways, everyone, now that we have completed those sets of films, now we actually get scripts for this, and now we actually get the sequel, the scripts of further sequels. Yeah, now we get Invaders. Now we get Invaders 2. Yeah, and now you're just gonna say the same lines over and over again at this point. Yep, and now we get the script for Timegate Traveller 2. Yep. And now we of course get the sequel for the now we get the script for Mystery Doors of the Magical Land 2. And lastly, of course, we get ourselves the script for the Red Fog of Terror 2. Now, I believe these ones are definitely going to be a lot more tougher to go through. Yeah, unlike what we went through with their once we actually went through with their prequels. Excuse me, jeez. But anyways, with that said, that shall be the end of our very first movie marathon. Now started with the next part. We are going to be handing off to Castelia City. And so, until the next part, I'll see you guys next time.